Hello and welcome to the Cloud Gaming Report. I'm your host Zach, and this episode was slightly delayed due to the fact that we had CES going on, and I was kind of waiting, hoping for some cool cloud gaming news from CES, but alas, that was not the case. This episode is kind of light on the news, but heavy on the rumors, so I'm just going to title this the Rumor Mill episode. We have some kind of interesting rumors about what we might be able to expect later in 2019 and into 2020. With two big giants entering the cloud gaming market. It seems like the last several months has just been about people entering the cloud gaming market. So I think maybe in a year from now, late 2019, we're going to have a lot of treats in store for us with all these people kind of releasing the products we've been hearing rumors about and early news about. So guys, without further delay, let's go ahead and jump right to it. As I mentioned in the intro, we didn't really have a lot of news about cloud gaming from CES, but we did get one little snippet from AMD, and that is the fact that Google's Project Stream is running AMD's Radeon graphics. Beyond that, we don't really know much. We don't know if it's running Vega 56, Vega 64, or the newly announced Radeon 7 next generation of graphics. We simply don't have those details. It could be something completely custom that falls somewhere in between those different options. At this point in time, we don't really have any more details. And it is nice to get this little bit of a sneak peek of information of what these cloud gaming solutions are running. Some services out there like Paperspace and Shadow, we have full control of the system, so we can just dive into the systems and determine the exact hardware that these services are running. Others like GeForce Now and Project Stream are more closed solutions, and we don't have those same capabilities to dive deep into the hardware that is actually powering these different solutions. So it's sometimes just nice to take what we can get and learn a little bit more about these solutions and the hardware that is powering them. Moving on from there, we have news about Amazon entering the cloud gaming market in 2020. These are purely rumors at this point in time, but it kind of continues their trend of big tech giants entering the world of cloud gaming. So Amazon right now, we have several job postings for software engineers with a focus on cloud gaming. The position's mission having the power of Twitch, AWS, and the entire Amazon ecosystem. We'll get back to that here in a bit, but there's quite a bit of power there. But one thing I did want to mention, in the past, Amazon has demonstrated cloud gaming technology, kind of similar to what we're seeing from Microsoft in the past, where they have kind of a hybrid solution where some things are still computed and rendered locally, such as physics. This kind of gets past the issue of having lag or latency, or at least greatly reduces the impact of lag. And what I mean by that is certain aspects of the game are a little bit more prone to having lag. For example, you're aiming, and whether you actually hit the target you're aiming at, if that is computed locally, then you don't have the delay of your actions actually getting to the server before those actions are actually determined whether you hit the target or not. And this is going to be important, especially for more competitive games. Now, I've had great experiences, but I do have a very good internet connection with a gigabit downstream, and I've had very good latency from Comcast. But not everybody's going to be in the same boats. I have tried gaming on 4G in the past, and it's definitely playable, I think, especially in single player games. But you can at times, especially if you have, it's less consistent than my cable connection is what I'll get to in the end. I can definitely notice that it does seem to have more latency at certain times than others, especially if you're playing in a more congested area or an area where the broadband or the 4G connection is being used more heavily because you're like at an airport. I've tried playing at an airport before, completely unplayable. So with that being said, I think certain things like this will help. This is kind of what I'm dubbing as Cloud Gaming 2.0 possibly. Right now, all the services out there are just streaming your entire desktop or the entire cloud desktop to your local machine. And I think solutions like these hybrid solutions will be Cloud Gaming 2.0 and will get us over the current issues that we're having with our internet infrastructure. And then maybe Cloud Gaming 3.0 will come around. That's more like what we currently have now. But our internet infrastructure will kind of catch up to our ambitions and be able to actually achieve what we're trying to do now. And most people, or quite a few people, can achieve that right now, but there are certain use cases, people with slower internet connections, or poor internet connections. And what I mean by poor is just less quality internet connections. You might have a good, fast internet connection and works great for like Netflix and YouTube, but the latency, the kind of things going behind the scenes that you don't really deal with on a normal basis, those have a heavy impact on cloud gaming. And I'm hoping hybrid solutions like this will make a make cloud gaming truly mainstream here in the short term. Next up, we have another tech giant entering the world of cloud gaming. This time it's Verizon with Verizon Gaming. This is starting to get crazy bananas, guys, with everybody that's going to be entering the world of cloud gaming here in 2019 and possibly into 2020. I think 2019 is going to be very full of cloud gaming news, especially once some of these services start rolling out and entering more into the testing and the full deployment stage. So with that being said, currently Verizon Gaming is in alpha testing. It is currently available on the NVIDIA Shield only. Reports are indicating, though, that it will be available on the Android soon, and it will be able to utilize the Xbox controller on both the NVIDIA Shield and the Android platform. Current testers that are invited, and it is invite only. I'm over here, Verizon. Anyways, I digress. Current testers that are invited to test this solution are giving a NVIDIA Shield a Xbox One controller, along with a $150 Amazon gift card, I assume, to purchase the games that they're going to be playing on. So it is a GeForce Now style platform that is a closed platform with a limited library of games that are available to be played on that are compatible. So there are currently 135 games that are compatible and playable on the Verizon gaming platform. Current testers are complaining of lag. This is a little bit harder to discuss. It could simply be their network or it could be the service itself. Only hands-on time with it would really be able to determine whether it is the service itself or if it's simply just different testers, internet infrastructure. It could simply be the fact that Verizon only has one data center set up to test, so people are connecting from very large distances. We really don't know much about that, but the biggest issue I could see from people complaining is the lack of persistence between sessions. So what that means is every time you load up a new session, there is no persistence, so you don't have any game saves or anything from your previous session to your current session. So that is a pretty annoying issue, not being able to resume your saves. Hopefully that is an issue that they resolve in the short term. I don't really know the reason behind that. Maybe they're just trying to save storage space as they have limited testing hardware, or maybe they just simply haven't gotten everything set up on the back end to make different users and kind of connect the user that's kind of logging in to a certain virtual machine. So hopefully that is something that is resolved in the future. Now there is something very interesting and unique about Verizon's setup, not quite on the level of Microsoft and Amazon that we talked about earlier, but they do have a unique opportunity because they are a network provider. So being a network provider, they could offer a very low latency connection simply because they could have data centers, instead of having a lower number of data centers that serve a larger number of users, they could kind of spread these out more across their networking data centers that they already have set up to offer their services and offer the cloud gaming solution straight from those different data centers. So what that could enable is very low latency connections, especially on their 5G networks, if 5G lives up to half of the promises that we've heard about. So could be a very interesting setup here in the future. It will be interesting to hear more about Verizon in the future. Right now it is only in alpha, maybe in beta they'll be a little more widespread and we'll have a better chance of actually getting our hands on it and testing it. So that's it for this episode of the Cloud Gaming Report. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching or listening, depending on if you're on your favorite podcast app or if you are on YouTube. So once again, guys, thanks for watching or listening. And until next time, Zach out.